Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I am sharing a kind of a spin on a Thanksgiving video. I wasn't really sure what kind of content I wanted to put out for this because I shared quite a bit last year and I didn't want to be repetitive. So I decided I would share one of my most requested side dishes that my family always typically asks me to bring. It's the easiest mac and cheese. It's super flavorful and it's versatile. So you can change it up based on your taste preferences. If you like things spicy, if you like things mild, you'll see. It's really easy and most of the things you probably already have in your pantry. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is I sat down and I went over some of the content that is already on my YouTube channel. And I have 10 videos that you could use for Thanksgiving, whether it be breakfast, a side dish, a delicious rustic bread that you could make to wow your family or your guests or whoever you are spending time with on Thanksgiving. I also have some desserts. And then there's also a video I put together where I show you 3 of our favorite ways to use leftover turkey. So after I show you how to put together this easy mac and cheese, I will run through all 10 videos, explain what's in them so you can know what to expect. You don't have to go through every single one. And I will have them all linked down below in the description box. So I'm really excited to share this mac and cheese recipe. I think after making it for, I don't know, probably at least 5 years, this is something that my family always says, oh, can you bring your mac and cheese? I know we all have that type of recipe that people say, oh, can you bring your salad? Well, this is my side dish. So these are the ingredients for the mac and cheese. And like I mentioned, a lot of this you probably already have in your pantry. So you might only just have to buy a few things, which is one of the things I love about this recipe. So for the basis of the mac and cheese, you want some type of small, heartier pasta. So this is the equivalent of a 16-ounce box of elbow macaroni, and this is my favorite type of pasta to use for this dish. For the cheese, you can change this up however you want. Whatever cheese you can get your hands on, as long as it is a good melting cheese, works perfectly. I really like to use this particular blend from Walmart. This is the Great Value Fiesta blend. It has Monterey Jack, it has a little bit of cheddar, it has queso quesadilla, and asadero cheese. It's a great melting cheese, and you can get it finely shredded. So I have about 2 cups of that in here, and then I have the bag out so that I can put a little bit on top. I also have 2 cups of sharp cheddar, and this is just for added flavor, and you can use whatever kind of cheddar. You can use mild cheddar, like I said, whatever you can get your hands on. For spices, you're going to need some salt and pepper, a little bit of ground mustard, paprika, and some garlic powder. And I will have all the measurements listed down below in the description box, so don't worry about that. For the basis of the sauce, we're going to use a 1/4 cup of flour. This is just all-purpose flour. Over here I have 4 cups of milk. I'm using whole milk. I have just about a cup of Italian-style breadcrumbs. This is for the topping. You need 1 stick of butter. And then for today's mac and cheese, this is my favorite combination. I use 1 pound of hot pork sausage. I just really like this one. I've made it a bunch of different times with different kinds, and this is the one I always go back to. And then 1 green bell pepper. So the basis of the mac and cheese is right here. And then for flavor, I'm adding these 2, and you can switch this up however you want. So if you like spicy, you can do spicy. You can do mild sausage, you can do bacon, you can do a meatless version, and it is just as good. So let's jump in and I'll show you how easy this is to put together. And the best part is you can make this ahead and just bake it off the day of. I also wanted to mention that I am using a 9x13 Pyrex dish, and I use one with a cover. It's just easier to store and to transport if you're taking it anywhere. And then some type of vegetable oil spray so that you can grease your pan. First thing you want to do is brown your sausage, and I diced up my green bell pepper, and then I have a big pot of water that is getting ready to boil to cook my pasta. I also cubed up half a stick of butter. That will be part of the topping of the mac and cheese. And then I have 4 tablespoons that is going to be used to make the sauce. My water is just about boiling and my sausage has browned up nicely. So I'm going to take this and put it in a bowl and reserve that to the side. The other thing I love about this recipe is that you can make the entire mac and cheese in one pot. So other than the pot of water to cook your pasta, everything is done in what I'm using is a Dutch oven. You can use any big pot that you have. I salted my water and I added in my pasta and then gave that a quick stir, and that's going to cook for 7 minutes. You want your pasta to be al dente and not overly cooked. The next step is to just saute your green peppers, and I like to flavor each step of the mac and cheese. That way there's a lot of flavor. So I add some salt and pepper and then a very small sprinkle of garlic powder. This step is optional. It's just how I've always made it. I only cook my green peppers for just a few minutes, just until they get a little bit of color on them, and then we're going to take those out as well. I like my peppers to have a little bit of a bite to them, and this is the point where I take them out. So I'm just putting these right on top of the sausage, and then we're going to set those to the side. Now I'm going to show you how to make the cheese sauce. I'm adding 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter into the bottom of my pan, and make sure that you turn your heat down a little bit. You don't want this to brown too quickly. And I'm adding 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. So this is making what is called a roux, and this is going to help thicken up our sauce. So give this a whisk, and you do want to cook this over low, medium-low heat just for a few minutes to cook out that raw flour taste. So once it gets a little bit foamy and you see some bubbles, you can start adding your milk in. Another tip I want to add is you want to make sure your milk is not cold because it will cause clumps. So you want to make sure that it's either at room temperature or you can stick it in the microwave for maybe 30 seconds. So gradually add your milk and keep whisking and make sure it all combines beautifully. And then we're just going to let this simmer for a few minutes. I cooked this over a pretty low heat for about 10 minutes. This isn't a sauce that you want to walk away from for too long. You don't have to whisk it constantly, but every minute or so, go over and give it a good whisk. You'll see that it starts to thicken up and it will start to coat the back of a spoon. So this is what you're looking for. And at this point, we're going to add our seasonings. I added a teaspoon of kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, and then 1/4 teaspoon of ground mustard. If you want to make a really spicy mac and cheese, you can add cayenne pepper and crushed red pepper flakes. I've done that in the past, and that is also really good. So at this point, you want to turn your heat off, and then you're going to add in your 2 cups of sharp cheddar. And then we're also going to add our 2 cups of our cheese blend. And as soon as you add this, you will see that it just comes together. It's the most luxurious sauce. And this is where you want to taste it. So I know a lot of people say you should taste as you go. This is definitely one of those things that you want to take a minute to taste. Make sure your seasoning is on point. Make sure whether you need to add salt or pepper. And this time, shockingly, this was good, so I didn't have to add anything. The last step is to add in all of our other ingredients, just to combine it all into one. So I'm adding my green peppers and my cooked sausage, and then we're also going to add our cooked pasta. Not only is this a great hearty side dish for Thanksgiving, but we have also used this as a quick weeknight meal. This is great to make ahead. It freezes beautifully, so it's a great freezer meal. It's also a great dish to gift. So if you have a new mom in your life, or a friend who's recovering from something. This is a great meal to gift. Once you make sure everything is mixed together really well, now we just have to add it to our pan. And I wish that you guys could smell this because it is absolutely incredible. Make sure to grease your 9x13, and you can make this into smaller portions if you want. Like I said, it freezes great, so if you want to make one and then freeze the other, that's a great option. Smooth out the top, make sure you spoon out all that extra, and then we're just going to add the top. And the top is what makes this mac and cheese so good. So I'm using Italian breadcrumbs. You just want to spread them evenly over the top. And then we're going to add a light sprinkle of cheese. And then we're going to take the other half of that butter that I cubed up earlier, and we're going to spread that over the top. This is going to melt and make this golden and crispy in the oven. Once you finish spreading out the topping, you have two options. You can either bake this if it is the day that you need this dish, or you can wrap it up and either pop it in the refrigerator or the freezer. If you're storing this in the fridge or the freezer, make sure it's wrapped with aluminum foil and a lid, and it will store beautifully. If you are baking it right away, bake it at 350 for 15 to maybe 20 minutes. And if you want it extra crispy on top, pop it under the broiler for the last minute or two. This is such a delicious and comforting dish, and perfect to share with loved ones, whether it's Thanksgiving or not. The first video and recipe I will have linked below in the description box is for baked apples. This would make a perfect breakfast. This would make a wonderful dessert. It's very festive and it is really easy to put together. This next recipe is for a delicious quiche. This would make a delicious addition to a Thanksgiving brunch. And the best part is you can use what you have on hand. So definitely take a look at this if you need a breakfast idea. This chicken and gravy recipe is not only in the crock pot, so you don't have to do much of anything other than throw it all together, but this is a great alternative to cooking a traditional turkey. This next recipe is also a crock pot recipe for chicken and stuffing, and everyone says when they make this, it reminds them of Thanksgiving. So I know Thanksgiving looks different this year. If you're looking to put something in the crock pot that is easy, this is a great recipe to make. This video has two Thanksgiving sides. This is Brussels sprouts that I usually bring every single year to Thanksgiving. It has bacon, they are so good. And then a cornbread side, which is absolutely delicious. So if you're looking for some last minute Thanksgiving sides, this is the video for you. This recipe is for a rustic artisan bread that you can make right in your Dutch oven. I have had so many people message me over the past couple weeks who said they are making this for Thanksgiving. It is so good if you want to make fresh bread and impress whoever it is that you are with on Thanksgiving. This is a good one. This is a good one any time of year. Now to share a few dessert ideas. So this first one is a recipe for apple cobbler. It is so good, it's pretty easy to put together, and it is the ultimate comfort dessert. If you are looking to make something smaller in portion or just for individual servings, these apple hand pies can be made in the air fryer or the oven, and they are absolutely delicious. My kids love these. This video right here was part of a holiday dessert collab, and those cranberry chocolate bars are to die for. I kind of served them on a dessert platter, so if you need a fun and a little bit different dessert idea, this is a really good one. And last but not least, how to transform leftover turkey. I give you 3 easy ideas on how to use that leftover turkey. There's a delicious soup, a amazing pasta bake, and then a little spin on the traditional turkey sandwich. I hope you guys got some inspiration from these, and if you want to click on the links, they will be all down below in the description box. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that mac and cheese recipe, and I hope that some of those videos will give you some inspiration or some ideas for your Thanksgiving. I know Thanksgiving looks a little different for everyone this year, but from the bottom of my heart, I hope you all have a wonderful day, whether it's by yourself, whether it is with a few close loved ones or your family. But just know that I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I have met so many lovely people through this platform, and I could not be more thankful. So I will see you guys in the next video.